Right now, you're looking at Heads or Trails. Two well-travelled larrikins with a lust for adventure and a love for freedom that only motorbikes can allow. You can find us in my living room planning trips and figuring out new technology to help along the way. It's the little things that help us keep going. Like finally working out how to use our helmet headsets for the first time. I'm known to get a little bit carried away at times. Sydney's not the easiest place to find epic off-road adventures, but we're always cooking up something new and different to make Heads or Trails happen. What up?
I gotta get
see you, mate. What?
A motorbike, not a motorbike station, petrol station.
Yeah, true.
Across the road, slam on the brakes, I was like skidding off.
So how are we getting there? Well, we've both gone for the ever reliable KLR-650, undoubtedly the biggest buy in our trip so far. However, the bikes aren't enough, so we've had to go out and buy 2 sets of Tusk pannier rack systems to help us haul all our camping gear, electronic devices and tools.
2 lots of presents.
We've gone for hard luggage as opposed to soft luggage for 2 reasons. Keep everything that's inside safe in the event that we fall off, and to keep everything 100% waterproof.
The Tusk pannier racks for the KLR-650 were a perfect choice for us. These bulletproof metal boxes can hold a decent amount without blowing the budget. And being lockable, they offer a pretty decent level of security too. Not bad. Fucking oath.
Pannier. All on, all fitted, all nicely.
Yeah.
How goes it?
Pretty damn good.
The plan was simple. Leave at the crack of dawn on a Thursday to beat the notorious Sydney traffic. Make a morning stop off at Katoomba to check out the Blue Mountains, then on to Kanagra-boyd National Park to camp for the night. The next day we would shoot for the coast. We were aiming to take the back roads to Killalea-State-Park. We would take the epic coastal road and make a stop off at the Ghost Tunnel for some unfinished business. Then we would ride through the Royal National Park before finally arriving back in Sydney.
First pit stop of the day. What time is it?
It is 10 to 9.
Jesus Christ, we made good time. We left at like 6 a.m. this morning from Sydney and we're like, what, 150 k's?
About that, yeah.
150 k's. Not bad. Check that shit out.
It's so nice to get out of Brick City and check out what's really just a couple of hours away. The Blue Mountains is an epic wilderness area and you should totally check it out if you're ever in Sydney.
Yeah.
Once we were off the main highways, we really had the roads to ourselves. 6 lanes gave way to single lanes over rolling hills, through caves and across beautiful farmland. Though the air was chilly, the riding conditions were absolutely perfect.
The road soon turned to dirt and our eyes just lit up. Arriving at our first camp spot brought on ear-to-ear grins and our first ever motorcycle camping experience.
Once we turned off to Kanagra-boyd, we were really keen to set up camp and chill out for a bit. The campsite that we found was pretty good and there was a lot of good firewood about, so we were keen to get out there and see what we could find.
Yeah?
Nailed it. Oh, left his light on.
Oh, what a dickhead! How am I going to bring these joints without them getting crushed? Local engineer James Gallagher is going to make a Canadian Club cup holder out of gaffer tape. I reckon if I just come over here, like this, I reckon this will be easy.
How are you going to get tension on it?
Don't need tension, mate. You just don't need it to fall over.
I'm intrigued.
Fucking happy days. It's
That
not
is
going
a
anywhere.
stroke of genius. But what about when you're like, you reckon that's going to work?
Yeah. Why wouldn't it work? Where's it going to go?
Yeah.
You reckon you're gonna get that down? Mate, there's a great piece of wood right here. Mate, that's bad news. Yeah, I'm about to kill something.
We're looking for just dead. Just recently dead. Not this fully rotten stuff. This stuff. Alright, lucky for me, James took the heavy one. But I got this to take. I just got the foliage. Good work.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, thanks, man. I probably shouldn't be riding behind him. One of the things we found was that we were constantly running out of power. So while we still had light, we installed some 8 volt and 12 volt chargers so we could charge our devices on the go. It is chilly. A lot of ice on the bikes. Found a pretty good log last night in the dark. We've rolled it up the hill. Pack this shit up, eh?
Waking up frozen and hungover is a tough way to start the day, but nothing could possibly put a damper on what was to come.
I could hardly feel my fingers the next morning, and packing up was an absolute pain. Plus, we were hungover from Canadian clubs all night, but it was going to be a great day on the road. We couldn't leave without checking out the epic Kanagra walls. Sheer cliff faces out in the middle of nowhere, with epic views out onto the Great Dividing Range. It was really something to see that early in the morning. So we're going down to Killalea waterfall. It's like, what, 400 steps? Ish. We just saw an amazing lookout and we're heading down here. Pretty special spot. How you feeling after that big walk, man? Fully loaded in winter gear, we just walked up 400 steps.
Yeah, fuck, that was a good workout.
If I said I wasn't sweaty, I'd be lying. We had a lot of ground to cover, so it was time to get back on the bikes and get our rig along. The roads were fast and slowly curving for the first couple of hours. There was a lot of wildlife getting about, and hitting a kangaroo going 100 kilometers an hour is a great way to ruin your day, so we had to be careful. So we're backing over on for a second time. Why?
My carby's fucked.
I'm just trying to pick which one I want to use to clean it and hopefully fix the issue without having to pull the carburetor apart.
What's the difference? One's red, one's black.
One's a total system, one's just injectors, but I don't really have an injector because it's a carburetor, so
Like
I think
it
I'll go
is.
this one.
Cool. Hey, there's some microfiber towels here. Microfiber towel? Okay, I'm gonna go pay for my fuel.
After a fuel stop and a lunch break in Oberon, it was onto uncharted territory. Google Maps seemed pretty sure there was no way to cut through to the coast from Oberon, but the locals and other travellers convinced us otherwise. Always up for an adventure, we jumped on our bikes. Little did we know how epic this road would be. Tarmac was all too willing to give it up for narrow dirt mountain passes with eucalyptus overhanging on one side and sheer cliff faces on the other. This is the kind of back road you dream of when touring on a motorbike.
I honestly could not believe how much fun the second day would prove to be. The remoteness of where we were was only overshadowed by its beauty. However, giving the bikes a thrash in the dirt was pretty fun as well.
While this road was epic and we were really lucky to have stumbled across it, James's bike was playing up all day and we found ourselves chasing the last of the sunlight in that short winter day. We were pretty stoked to find ourselves on the escarpment of the tablelands overlooking where we would camp for the night. So close but yet so far away.
As we made our way to the next camp spot, the sun took a dive behind the mountains we had just traversed and highlighted the coast we were headed for.
So it's 7 o'clock in the morning. James feels a need to be cooking noodles. He has an appetite for chicken noodles at 7 a.m. Looking pretty good. Not a bad view to wake up to.
Killalea was really turning it on that morning. We were hesitant to get wet and jump back on the bikes in the winter, but it was too good not to check out. Wollongong is my old stomping ground. I get a bit nostalgic anytime I'm here. It's a perfect sized city with access to beautiful beaches on one side and mountainous terrain on the other. It was my turn to show James around. We went up to Mount Kira to get a bird's eye view of the area. The coastal road up to Sydney weaves its way through small coastal towns, through old coal mines and up into National Park. Last time we were here we found an old tunnel that had been decommissioned. We wanted to see if we could ride our KLRs through it. We ran into an old timer who knew some of the history of the place. Apparently the single track railway was decommissioned because it couldn't take on the increasing demand for resources. Workers had small sections built into the tunnel so they could rest while they worked. The tunnel had since become full of sediment and junk.
100 metres and the tunnel veers to the left,
Yeah.
and you see the other end of the tunnel,
Okay.
and you think, oh gee, it's only just up there, but it's about a mile away,
Yeah, right.
or a kilometre away, and so it takes forever to walk through. But you think
We went to suss it out, but there was no way we were getting our bikes through there.
Even though we couldn't ride through the tunnel, it was certainly worthwhile walking it. And really, it's what this channel is all about. Getting off the bike and exploring, rather than riding past.
If you own a motorbike in Sydney, then you know of the Royal National Park ride. On the right day, it's a stark contrast to the congested traffic of the city. We got lucky and it was a relaxing cruise back up to the Big Smoke. All good things have to come to an end. This is just one of the many rides we have planned. Till then, we'll be drinking beers and brewing up more trips for your viewing pleasure. Stay with Heads or Trails for more travel videos and motorbike adventures. Until then,